ஹாரிஸ் ஜெயராஜ் இசையில் ஜேடி ஜெரி இயக்கத்தில் தி லெஜெண்ட் சரவணன் நடிக்கும் தி லெஜெண்ட் திரைப்படம் ஜூலை 28 முதல் உங்கள் அபிமான திரையரங்குகளில் காண தவறாதீர்கள்.
Modi 20 by eminent contributors comprising administrators, scholars and artists commemorating Prime Minister Modi's uninterrupted 20 years of public service. These thematically compiled essays explain how his policies and approach have had a substantively transformative effect on different aspects of India's democracy and society. Not working? The premise of this compilation is an interesting one, acknowledging that India is a liberal democracy as others are. I'm just quoting from the book. By nature, argumentative and competitive, with constitutionally guaranteed free speech and a vibrant civil society. The book asserts that overriding the multitude of complexities that go into making of India's democratic fabric, the idea of Modi has had a sustained hold on India over a long period. So again, quoting from the introduction, please listen to this. Add to it a billion plus scale, comprising a young population and a fascinating diversity of languages, cultures and geography. One can visualize the complexity and inherent impossibility of any single idea or thought holding center stage in India for a long period. And yet, one such thought, the idea of Modi, has held sway for 2 decades. Noting that Sri Narendra Modi assumed an elected office, achieving in 2001 in Gujarat, and now holding office as PM for over 7.5 years. This is a unique phenomenon with few parallels across the democratic world. Now this book has an impressive panel of contributors ranging from Union Ministers Amit-Shah and Jaishankar to author Amish Tripathi, badminton star P.V. Sindhu, economist Arvind Panagaria, Nanta Nageshwaran, amongst others from different fields. The result is an authoritative compendium covering every aspect of Prime Minister Modi's governance style and substance, explaining how all this adds up to a unique paradigm of governance. One particularly noteworthy perspective that struck me and which made me understand why the idea of Sri Modi has such a hold over India is that of author Amish Tripathi, who has pointed to the Herculean task undertaken by the Prime Minister to ensure that India and Indians recognize that ours is a civilization state rather than a nation state. I think for very long, the last 75 years, we've all been brought up with the notion of India being a nation state. So I think it's one successful concept that Mr. Sri Modi has brought in, which makes Indians think again. And we have India and Indians then have been asked to recognize that ours is a civilization state. And what Tripathi says, in contrast to many other leaders, a clear message from Prime Minister Modi is, we must remember who we are. It's a message, he says, that most Indians instinctively resonate with, even if they cannot formulate it into words. The writer says, once we understand Prime Minister Modi's overarching objective, to make Indians clear and unapologetic about their roots, many moves that he makes in the cultural space begin to make sense. Then I think a lot of Indians, what strikes me, the takeaways I have from this book. The second thing is I think a lot of Indians will agree that another important contribution that Prime Minister Modi has made, I think this is incontestable, that really has radically improved the quality of lives of Indians across India, is the launching of Digital India as a national mission. Nandan Nilekani, who is the founding chairman of the UIDAI, writing in this book, pays tribute to the PM's quote-unquote intuitive understanding of technology, which has helped harness technology for public good. Aadhaar, for instance, with a foundational identity system, which Modi saw, in the words of Nilekani, as liberating India's people from queues and cumbersome processes. In 2015, the Jan Dan Ada mobile vision, what they call the JAM vision, was unveiled by Prime Minister, which essentially enables citizens to link their mobile phones, bank accounts, and Aadhaar cards, and thereby derive several benefits from various schemes. And as Nilekani notes, a cumulative amount of rupees 20.23 lakh crores has been transferred directly into the bank account of beneficiaries by end December 2021. So what Nilekani said very interestingly, the point to take home here is that the government wasn't rolling out just one development intervention. They were building digital public infrastructure. So basically plunging Aadhaar into multiple programs, supercharged according to Nilekani, the overall welfare experience for government and citizens. So Nilekani's essay, I think, sums up very effectively the essence of the Digital India platform that the PM is so committed to implementing nationwide. According to him, all these platforms, via citizen empowerment, increase ease of business, ease of doing business, easier governance, are smoothing government-citizen engagement, increasing the government's agility and responsiveness, and bolstering the integrity of the government ecosystem to consultative services. Here, I would like to pay a compliment to the Finance Minister, Nirmala Sitharaman, who has really earnestly tried to implement PM Modi's vision of digital empowerment and ensuring that this puts money in the hands of every citizen, particularly the disadvantaged and deprived. So I want to compliment her for this extremely honest implementation of PM's ideas. And then coming to foreign policy, that's the other takeaway. Under PM Modi, India's approach, I mean, I would agree with it too. India's approach to the world has been much more energetic and much more strategically focused as he has begun to engage with key world leaders. And he's ensuring that India is a voice heard at every global forum. And here we have an interesting contribution from External Affairs Minister Jaishankar, who points out that under this PM, this is a quote, "We have witnessed the unfolding of a different approach to world affairs. It revolves around changing the thinking of the world about India. Entrenched prejudices and vested interests may be deep, but they are being contested vigorously through policies and action." So an important aspect, says External Affairs Minister Jaishankar, is to ensure that our capabilities and contributions receive greater recognition. So again, he notes that the Make in India and Startup India campaigns have increased India's economic relevance. I think this anthology on the whole, I compliment Akhilesh Mitra and others who have done this. This anthology serves as an excellent testament of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's exemplary public service and governance reforms that have certainly made governance accessible to citizens, given them a strong sense of empowerment, as their mobile phones and Aadhaar cards give them access to a gamut of services. Now Indians can make digital payments with ease, and it's remarkable how this change is seeping into the lives of deprived and economically disadvantaged persons who live around us and who are really accelerated by this empowerment. For this, we all have Prime Minister Modi's extraordinary vision of digital India to thank. So I would say it's evident that the Prime Minister is evolving from a politician to a statesman in his handling of traditionally difficult issues. According to me, his thoughtful handling of border issues with China, his firm keeping of the peace with Pakistan, the neighborly concern shown to Sri Lanka, Bangladesh and Nepal have shown its destiny and skill in handling issues that have traditionally been flashpoints of conflict over decades. He's also resisted, to his credit, the pressure of opportunistic and chauvinist responses to provocation from China or Pakistan, responding in a measured tenor, allowing these potential flashpoints to subside. Another striking feature of Prime Minister Modi's approach is his remaking of the idea of governance. He's made government accessible, and no longer do citizens feel that authority is remote and aloof. In fact, the Hindu, we've reported it on our front page today. His remarks yesterday, Anna University, the convocation, I think the PM has very, very clearly explained what difference he thinks his government is making as compared to the past. he was saying that as earlier there was a notion that a strong government meant it should control everything and everyone. And I'm quoting from the PM, from what we have reported. But we have changed this. A strong government controls the system impulse to interfere. A strong government is not restrictive, but is responsive. It limits itself and makes space for people's talent. A strong government's strength lies in its humility to accept that it cannot do or know everything. In my personal view, the three incontestable successes of the Prime Minister that lie at the heart of his soaring popularity and charisma are obviously first, the launching of Digital India, which has empowered the citizen with digital technology to access basic services. The second pervasive and far-reaching achievement is radicalizing the model of governance, changing the perception of government, the all-controlling authority in daily life. And I think that liberating citizens from restrictions and cumbersome procedures has been a great relief to many people who feel now that their dreams are within reach. In my opinion, the third achievement which people have spoken less about is his acknowledgement and respect for regional cultural sensitivity. The PM has subtly ensured that the structure of relations between the centre and the states, while reflecting the realities of necessary economic interdependence, and I think FM has helped as well in this whole juggling of this whole GST, a complex question of GST. But I would think that this PM has been broadly accommodative of the aspirations of states for greater autonomy. He's been very sensitive to the cultural assertions of the states. Tamil Nadu, for instance, he's understood and immediately recognized the imperative of softening the traditional cadency of the BJP on Hindi as a national language. Now the entire plank of Hindi imposition, which was a tremendous turn-up for many of us in Tamil Nadu, has been abandoned. And the importance of regional languages is now being acknowledged. He's established real cordiality with chief ministers. We've seen it for ourselves. Firmly putting away the confrontationist tenor of past exchanges between centre and the state government. This, I think, is a refreshing departure from past practice, augurs well for the health of the political structure of our country. So I do thank the organizers of this meeting to allow me to engage with this significant topic. Participants are well deserved. Celebrate the PM's journey from politics to statesman.